you're going to immediately go into step 4. So step 3 is writing down every single one of your expenses for 30 days straight. Starting today, starting tomorrow, take a little notebook, something with you, and every single day money comes out of your wallet, your purse, your checking account, your credit card, anytime any kind of money leaves you and goes to somebody else or some other business, write it down, okay? So the next step is, once you have all of those steps completed for writing down all your expenses for 30 days, what you're going to want to do is go over that list and write down what is actually a need. So what is the definition of a need? Something that you can't live without, right? So for example, if you rent an apartment, chances are you need somewhere to live. So if you're paying rent, that would be a need. If you have a mortgage and you want to continue to live in that house, you want to write that down, right? If you have a water bill or an electric bill, right? If you have groceries, these are needs. These are things to sustain your life, right? We want to figure out, after those 30 days of going through this, and this might be something that you need to, revisit, because it takes a full month to write down, what you spend your money on, right? So write it down. I challenge you to do that. Most people won't. But people that truly want to get their finances back in order, they will. They really, really will, right? Because people will change when the pain is great enough for them to change. But if the pain is not great enough to change, they'll continue living the way they want, and nothing will change. So figure out what is a need. And you can go ahead and go log online right now on your bank account. Figure out the last week of expenses. What on that list is actually a need? Something that you actually need. Because money is an emotional thing, okay? And I'll give you a personal example. This morning, went to church, was about to leave church, and I was thinking, you know what? It's always nice to pick up, donuts or some kind of snack after church. And I had some cash in my pocket, and I'm like, hey, maybe I could, treat my daughters to like some donuts or something, right? So what I actually did is I was gonna go there, and my family and I, we were leaving church. We were heading back home, and I was helping out with the service, so I didn't sit with the family. And my wife had just mentioned, hey, the kids, they weren't really behaving. They weren't misbehaving, but they weren't focused on the message. Does that make sense? So my wife said, hey, they really don't deserve a snack. They don't deserve a treat. They don't deserve a donut, And I said, well, I was actually gonna give that to them, right? So what ended up happening is we didn't get that for them. Now, what would you say? Is that a need or a want? And I wanted to give that to them. It's definitely not. That's funny, Brad. I wanted to treat them, but I'm not going to reward that kind of behavior though either, which is a whole other topic, right? So as I was driving on my way home, I was thinking is that a need or is that a want, right? It's definitely a want. They'll be fine without it. I'll be fine without it, right? But when it comes down to needs and wants, you got to really ask yourself when you make a purchase. You got to ask yourself when you make a purchase, is that a need or is that a want? Because these are questions that you're going to be asked every single day, because there's businesses that are always trying to take your money. That's just, businesses are in the business to make a profit, and that profit comes from who? Consumers, right? So there's no surprise that there's television commercials and Facebook ads and all these different messages that are coming past your eyes wanting to take money from your wallet, right? What if the want gets you further down the road to your goals? I guess it would depend as to what the want is, right? So ultimately what it comes down to is, I think we all know what we need to sustain our lives, and I think we all know when there's something that we really need or there's something that we really want, right? So, and if you're not sure, just, run it past somebody that you trust. Like, hey, I'm thinking about buying this. I'm thinking about buying this. And ask yourself, is it a need or a want? And ask this person, well, do you think it's a need or a want? And just by getting perspective from someone, that can help you determine if you actually want to make that purchase. So, so I guess just to recap here real quick, step 4 on the 9 steps on taking control of your finances is, after writing down everything you spend your money on for 30 days, go over that list and figure out what is a want, what is a need. Figure out what it is that you actually know that you need to sustain life. And if you need it, then that's something that's probably not going to come out of the budget after we figure out the actual wants, correct? So hopefully this helps. If you found value in this, please feel free to share. Depending on whatever device that you're on, you can swipe left, swipe right, up or down, based on whatever device that you're on. If you found value in this message, love to get it to any people that that might be struggling with their finances. Because what I do is I help people eliminate debt, and I also help them to create the right financial habits, that if you can start creating a new financial habit today, then in 6, 9, 12 months, you can be in a completely different financial position. So if this one 5-minute video makes an impact, then then I've done good work. My goal is to make an impact on the viewers here. Awesome. 100,000 hearts. Absolutely. I think it just passed yesterday, Brad. So thank you for the hearts. You guys are awesome. So what is the call to action today? The call to action today is to head on over to my website, nicknyber.com, and you can get the free PDF of the 9 steps that I'm going over through these videos. And as I was thinking this morning, between just reading my book and just plugging into some good material here, is money itself, like the actual making money and spending money and like the actual math, it's a very small percentage of money. It's actually pretty simple what we do, but over 90% of our spending, it comes from here. So what I'm going to start doing after I go over these steps is I'm actually going to start digging a little bit more deep into the thinking process on how you can actually start to think successful. Because if you make this much and you spend this much, then that's not going to work. But what you need to do is, if you make this much and you spend this much, now your life has changed. But that doesn't just make it simple like, okay, well, I'm just going to spend less. It actually starts here. You got to start changing this. And if you can start changing this, then your pocketbook can change as well. So head on over to nicknyber.com, enter your name, enter your email. I'll email you that PDF. Make a copy of it. Make 2 copies. Print one out for you and print one out for a friend of yours. And you guys can go over it together and sort of challenge each other. There we go, nicknyber.com. Challenge each other to get through this. Because even if you follow only half of them, and I encourage you to go through the whole thing, even if you follow half of them, you're going to feel much better about your finances. So hopefully this helped. Thank you again so much for the hearts. You guys are amazing. And look forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll be going over step 5. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.